gon' tune in cause it's showtime. Go ahead and call the gang up for the one time. Rap food rhyme, got them on the line. And my life's still great, I'm doing just fine. Hands up.
The last topic, speaking of curses we wish to break. The Super Mario Bros. Movie has just hit 1 billion. It is in the top 5. It's actually number 1. I looked that up today. It's actually number 1 for the highest grossing video game movies as of 2023. And with that, y'all know how Hollywood works. That this movie has success, so let's make some more. It came out that the developers of The Legend of Zelda are interested in making a movie after the success of Super Mario Bros. And Nintendo and Sega have started discussions about producing a Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games film. Based on how they've done Super Mario Bros. And I even want to bring up Detective Pikachu because Detective Pikachu is fire. But in Sonic, once they fixed the Sonic design, that came out to be really good.
I did enjoy the first movie.
Is the curse broken for the video game to movie pipeline? Can they do this?
I think what it is, and I don't want nobody who's a fan of these games to get mad at me because I love them as well. I'm just not the biggest fan of Zelda, though, as previously mentioned. I think when they stick to the everyone rated games, the ones that are meant for kids and it translates well into the screen, I think that is great. But the only stuff I worry about is because we forget that Assassin's Creed was made into a video game too. I mean, was made into a movie too.
And that didn't do
well.
And
that was trash.
Uncharted didn't do well.
Like, a lot of those still were not good at all. Dragon Ball was an anime first, but when they turned that, the pipeline seems like it's working well for family-oriented games. It seems like it's working.
I would agree with that.
Cyberpunk somehow did a great job turning it into an anime, which was interesting. I loved it. But
I'm gonna let you finish. I got a counterpoint on that.
It depends on who's producing it. What I would say is it depends on who's producing it, if they're a fan and what division is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So to counterpoint your Cyberpunk thing, I think with series, it's different. I think series have a lower risk of audience who they need to watch this as movies does. Because if they turned around and said they were making a Cyberpunk movie, that's a different level of expectation than saying we're doing a Cyberpunk anime.
And if they was going for live action, it would be completely different too.
Exactly. So I think for Cyberpunk, going the series route worked out very well for them. Versus if they said, hey, we're going to make a Cyberpunk movie, because that's two totally different expectations.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think the video game to movie pipeline has been working really well for the family-friendly franchises. But I also think that the people who made those movies really care about the franchise. Nintendo was directly involved in the Super Mario Bros. Movie, which is a good piece of the reason why it came out like it did. The references, the storyline, keeping it true to Mario fans and making it and I think Illumination came into the point of making it enjoyable for little kids and family.
Exactly.
Detective Pikachu. If you could have you seen Detective Pikachu?
No, I haven't.
When you watch Detective Pikachu, it is a family-friendly story, but if you look at the way that those Pokemon look, that was care.
Yeah.
And they didn't just pick specific Pokemon to be in this movie. All of them are in this movie. And the way that they look, there's no cheap CGI. Mewtwo looks dope. I saw Growlithe. I saw like 20 Growlithe running around, Arcanines, Pikachus, Blastoids, all of them. Like the designs on those Pokemon were amazing, and that's care. And if we even want to talk about Sonic, despite how it happened when they fixed the design and did Sonic and did Tails and did Knuckles, it looked good. So I feel like as long as from the video game to movie pipeline, people really have to care about these franchises and not just trying to make a blockbuster movie. Because let's go back to the Avatar The Last Airbender thing. That guy didn't even watch Avatar and was just like, yeah, we're just gonna make it a movie, and we see how that turned out.
Let's not even talk about the most recent Mortal Kombat movie, which was trash.
Yo, let's hold on. They just casted what is her name? Is it Tati Gabriel from You? She's been in a couple stuff because she was in Uncharted too. She just got casted as
Jade.
Tati Gabriel just got casted as Jade in Mortal Kombat 2. And I am no better than a man, because I was like, you know what, the sequel might not be a bad idea.
But
to your point, yes.
And here's the thing, it depends on how they want to bring these franchises to life. Because one thing that Nintendo made sure to do with that Super Mario movie, they said, we're bringing our video game to life. We're not making this live action. This looks like a high quality video game. Now, I know Sonic did something different and Detective Pikachu did something different, but I want these producers to not think everything has to be human live action.
Let's talk about that.
Super Mario proved that if you do quality 3D animation,
you got a movie.
Works.
You got a movie. And when you mention that, so they say Nintendo and Sega are in discussion to make a Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. On which front is that movie happening? That's my biggest concern about that, because Sonic has already went the live action route and Super Mario Bros. Is going the animated route. What front is this Olympic Games supposed to be on?
I'm gonna be honest. The only way it can look good is if it's animated. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah,
that might be controversial. The only way it can look good is if they do it just like they did the Mario games. The games on the big screen with great graphics.
I really think they have to pull away for Sonic. I feel like they're going to have to pull away from the lore that's been in these past two movies, because otherwise it's not going to make sense.
Yeah.
It's going to have to be separate. I think that with Nintendo and Illumination, they have a chance at a degree to keep the same lore that they've established in the Super Mario Bros. Movie and just make it seem like Sonic just lives in this other universe and Mario just all the Mario people ended up on there on accident. I think they can make that work. But the way these past two Sonic movies have went, I really think they're going to have to pull away from that to make a merger between Mario and Sonic work. Otherwise, I just don't think it's going to make sense.
I think that would be perfect if they merged it well. They just stuck to 3D animations. I feel like that'd be perfect, especially if they do that for Zelda. I don't think they should even bring Zelda into some real. I could see it working, but they should do it.
For Zelda, I think it should be animated. I'm very curious on how they're gonna who's gonna be the main character, because Link doesn't talk.
Well, we kind of made the same argument for Mario.
But no, it's not the same argument, because Mario makes noises. He has phrases. We've heard him say some words. Name one. Give me one tagline from Link. Give me one.
Hiya! Spinning the sword around. Hiya!
From Smash Bros, bro.
That was in some of the older games, if I remember correctly.
So no, you gotta give me another example. That's not a good one.
No.
That's not a good one. That's like you asking me for a Mario tagline, and I say, "Whoa, what?"
That counts.
But Mario has the Let's Go, Mamma Mia. what? Give me something that Link says on that level.
No,
Because he doesn't have anything and he doesn't talk. Like, this is even worse. This is even worse than the Mario conversation. This is even worse than the Mario conversation. Like, what? Like, Zelda, like, if they make a Legend of Zelda movie, like, Zelda has to be in the movie 24/7, or this is gonna be a silent movie. Like, he has to have some buddies that talk, and he just, he nods. But, like, we just can't follow him by himself.
I'll be honest, I would be interested. Because I'm not the biggest Zelda fan, so my expectations are nearly as high as the folks who've been playing since Ocarina of Time.
Mm-hmm.
Like our boy on the mob, they've seen Antoine on the video, so we can say his name. Him, I want to see what he wants from it. You know what I mean? Like, since he grew up with the franchise, I would like to see his expectations for that. Because they're not that high.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do make a Legend of Zelda movie and they continue with the animation style that's been in Breath of the Wild and now Tears of the Kingdom.
I can see that.
Now, I think it would be with the animation, the Illuminations type animation fit Super Mario, because you got Super Mario 3D, the way they've been doing Mario Party and all of that other stuff, but the way they've been doing the new Zelda games, I think they have to do a different type of animation for that.
Yeah, because even if you look at older games like Twilight Princess on the Wii, I think they try going for a more mature-esque thing, like more dark and gritty.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on how they want it. It depends on which route they go.
It goes back to is really just the audience.
Mm-hmm. But I just hope that Super Mario's proved y'all can do 3D animations and they do just as good, if not way better, than live action. Give these voice actors the time to shine.
I really just think it's the medium. Like, Super Mario found a very good medium, and with it already being a family-friendly franchise, that's, it's nothing to, convert this into a family-friendly game. But I think when we get into the games with, like, the mature audiences, I think it's a bit difficult, because at some point you have to make it live action, let's just talk about Uncharted and Assassin's Creed. As a movie, do you honestly believe that they could have made that animated content and put it in theaters?
So here's the thing. Because Assassin's Creed tries to go for realistic styles, but everything that happens in there is unrealistic. Now, I'm not mad at that. My issue is that when they made that a movie, they tried too hard to fit it into reality versus just fitting into the Assassin's Creed universe. You know what I mean?
I think
if they do live action, they need to understand that even though it's a game and it looks unrealistic in terms of the stuff they do, just keep it, because that keeps it true to the world. Part of the reason we hated the previous Mortal Kombat movie was because they try to give us a random character to try to be our audience surrogate versus just sticking to Johnny Cage or who we know. They tried to integrate how the game actually works and try to make it seem more realistic and merge it into reality, when that's not Mortal Kombat. That's not Mortal Kombat. That's not how it was. It is outrageous violence, outrageous expectations. It's unrealistic, based in reality. Just do that. You know what I mean?
I agree. I was going to say, I think the big issue inside of live action adaptations is that they take it literal. Live action, real people, and they take it literal, and it's like, okay, how do we try to mesh this to reality? And it's like, well, the franchise that you're taking is not very realistic at all, so I don't think that's what we need to go for. I think
exactly
when you make it live action, yes, use real people, but we've seen so much special effects and CGI that we know what you can do. If they can make these big ass trucks and Transformers you can do this shit that they just did in this game.
Look, and look, even for Assassin's Creed, it wasn't nothing but him going back in time to like Renaissance era, old medieval Italy, and all this other stuff. Just make the hay barrel super thick. That's all you got to do. Just put extra hay in the barrel when Ezio jumps off the ledge. They're like, if y'all do another game, if y'all do Mortal Kombat, we understand Scorpion shooting fireballs. Just let him shoot his fireballs. You can make the blades look realistic. Just let him shoot his fireballs. It is what it is.
Yeah. I think they focus. I feel like some of these movies focus a little bit too much on the reality aspect when the franchise that you're adapting from is not realistic at all. It's unrealistic. Like,
and that's the joy of it. That's what makes it good.
Like, I think the expectation, because we already have the expectation.
Mm-hmm.
We want to see Liu Kang turns into this big dragon thing.
And then bite your head off.
Right, but then you doing something else is like, okay. I get it. Like, he can't really do that in real life, but it's in the game, you know?
That's what we're used to. Even how they changed like the game up and how it was interpreted in the movie. Like, I see what y'all trying to do, but we ain't need that.
Yeah.
We ain't need that. Just take us to the arena in the netherworld or whatever, wherever Shao comes from, and throw us in there. Yeah. Let them fight. That's what we want to see.
I don't know, but my closing statement on this topic is that I'm interested to see if this Zelda movie turns from an interest to reality. And if they are planning to do this Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, I'm very interested to see what medium they choose.
I'm going to say it now for 4 years later, we can come back to this.
Yeah.
If they make a Zelda game into a movie and it turns out good, Kirby and Metroid coming right up next. Star Fox, possibly.
I can see Kirby being a series. I can't see a Kirby movie. I can see Kirby being in a cute little series.
It would be either Kirby or Metroid. I'm leaning Metroid.
As far as movie, Metroid.
Yeah.
Kirby could be a series.
Star Fox would be fun.
I could see Star Fox being a series.
That'll be the animated Star Wars, Star Trek competitor.
Right.
Which would be kind of cool.
I could see that being a series. Metroid, I could see going both ways. Because you have that alien predator type feel to Metroid. So I could see that being in theaters. But we'll see. When Super Mario Bros. Touched the screen, we started seeing all these graphics about building out this Nintendo universe that eventually leads to Smash Bros. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's getting realistic. Like, the fact I was like, what is he doing? Like,
these fatalities finna make you go like, don't do that
honestly,
no more.
Like, you was talking about like what Omni-Man, like, let's go